Hi, welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. Just want to talk to you briefly about retirement. Are you thinking about retiring? If you're not, why aren't you? I love my trade. I love being a commercial gas engineer. I love being a plumber. I've loved it from the beginning, and I think I always will. I just think it's good to think about retirement because people don't talk about it much. I think it's seen as a negative thing or a thing for older people. I think it's okay to retire at any age. I don't think that you have to be in your 60s to retire. If you are able to retire when you're 50, why not? And what I want to discuss as well is why does it have to be complete retirement? I think it's fine for somebody to slow down gradually and instead of working 5 days a week or 6 days and call out, to remove the call out from the equation if possible, and possibly work 4 days a week if that's also possible. But there are other things that you can do with your time other than running after money. In this video, I'm going to see if I can give you some tips towards moving closer to retirement and to see if there's some things that you are doing to help prepare you for it. So if you go to the government website, when it comes to pensions, it's important that you keep your pension statements. Try to keep them all the way until when you retire. Take pictures of your pension statements in case you lose them, and write down as well who the pension provider is for that particular company. I don't know, if you don't move much, if you stay in the same company for like 20, 30, 40 years, it's easier to track your pension. But if you are somebody that moves company a lot, like every couple of months or every year, it's harder to track your pension. No one's going to do it for you. Write it down, take pictures of it, or if you don't know where they are, you need to go looking for them. So what you can do is you can either pay someone to do it or you can look for yourself. So one thing you can do is you go in the UK, you go to find pension contacts, and then you have to go through some yeses and nos and so on. And then you get to a point where it says, do you know the name of the employer? And then you can just say yes, and then you can continue. And then you just type the name of the employer who you were working for, and it will tell you then who their pension provider is. And then you can call up the number, and then from there, let's give an example. So we're going to write British Gas, for example. Okay, so say for instance, I was working for British Gas. I would click on here, and then it would say, right, this is their pension provider. Write to them or give them a call. Better still, call them and then tell them your name and so on, and certain details. And obviously, be careful what information you give to people, but give them the relevant details in order to track and then send you your statement. Okay, do not wait until you retire to find hobbies. Try and find good interactive hobbies. I don't mean hobbies such as sitting down watching football or sitting down watching the TV, but I mean interactive hobbies that will keep your mind active and engaged and so on. Things that you enjoy. So if you don't have hobbies already, look for some, because I've seen people retire and not know what to do with themselves once they retire. And some people can retire and lose their mind. Some people can retire and get really upset because you've been working for maybe 40, 50 years and then all of a sudden stop work. And it's like pulling a plug out without turning the switch off. You're not ready and you're in shock. So make sure you've got hobbies and try not to do it fast. Try to change down slowly from like, so you can reduce your days. Some companies will allow you to reduce the days you work. You don't have to stop completely. You can go into work 1 day a week if possible, or find a job to do so, a teaching job or so. Try to do likewise. Try to teach. If you get to a stage where you feel that you're tired of being on the tools, you can possibly go into the classroom and teach. It may only be 1 day a week or 2 days a week. You don't have to just pack up the tools. That's a lot of experience and knowledge gone if you just stop working. So I think it's good to try to pass it on, even if it's a voluntary role and you're not getting paid, or 1 day a week, but aim to continue doing what you love doing, your trade. Don't just write your trade off. It's a shame when somebody's into the top of the game or been in the gas industry for 30, 40, 50 years, and then they just pack it up completely as though, and to just turn their back on the trade. I think it's good to give back, and you don't necessarily need to stop. Don't wait too late to save. Start saving from now. Hopefully you are already, but if you make a certain amount of money, Say, for example, you make £4,000 a month after tax. If you make that £4,000 a month after tax, you do not have to spend it. I'm sure you have not always been earning that sort of money per month. So if you go from £4,000 a month and then to £5,000 a month and then to £6,000 a month, you don't need to increase your outgoings with your income. What you can do is try and use that money to help others, or possibly invest in yourself, in your own learning or something of that nature. And you can save. You can try to save some money. So you can put away a certain amount of money each month. So say to yourself, I'm going to try and put away 10% or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50% of my income. I'm going to try to save and use that so that you can potentially retire early, or invest it in a different stream of passive income. So think about saving from now. So the way to save is you have to look at your outgoings and try to see where you're wasting money and what's necessary and what isn't necessary. And then you need a lot of self-control, but then you need to aim at only spending what you need and keeping a close eye on it. And then you can save, and then in turn you can retire earlier, because if you spend more than what you earn, you're going to end up not retiring. You're going to work and work and work well beyond your 70s and never get to retire, because you are trying to pay for things and living beyond your means. And then retirement doesn't come when you're 50 or 40 even. It's hard for it to come because you're just spending beyond your means. So aim to have a relative level of comfort and a right balance, but you don't need to work yourself into your ground until you're 70, 80 years old, just because you overstretch the mark. So if you haven't already, get pen and paper out and start planning your retirement. Start finding out how much money you need to retire. Look to see what is in your pension already, how many years you have to work in order to retire, because there's a certain amount of years you have to work in the UK in order to get a basic pension. But you can see how many years you have to work in order to get a reasonably good pension. Look about other ways of increasing your pension contributions, or other private pensions. Find your pensions. Also try to work out if the place you're living in and so on, if that's suitable for retirement, and look into certain ways of being able to slow down and do other things in future other than just working for money and for more. So start planning and discuss with others about it. Find out what your company contribute to what you put in your pension. It's not something that people tend to ask much about. Some people know a lot about retirement and about pensions. Some people do not have any idea. So try to always find out more about this from others who know more about you, about retiring and about pensions. And you do not need to be in your 50s or 60s to start thinking about it. From your 20s, so from you begin working, is the time when you can start thinking about your pension and your retirement. So put pen to paper and make sure when you get to that milestone, it doesn't hit you and you do not know what to do with yourself, nor do you have a reasonably good pension to live off. All right. Thank you for joining me. I hope that's helped you. All right. Until next time. Bye.